Okay, everybody, huge breaking news in Tesla world. Breaking from Sawyer Merritt. Elon Musk's 2018 CEO pay package from Tesla worth some $56 billion when invested must be restored. The Delaware Supreme Court has just ruled, which is a fantastic piece of news if you're a Tesla investor. In case you're not familiar, feels like a billion years ago, there was this giant case where the Delaware court rescinded the pay package, the 2018 Elon Musk pay package, in this very infamous case out of Delaware, where the judge basically said, hey, is Elon Musk getting paid too much money? I don't think he deserves this much money, even though the shareholders voted twice to implement that pay package. The judge said no. But now it went up to the Delaware Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, hey, this is actually not right. It's not lawful. So we're going to re-implement the actual pay package, the original one that was instituted in the state of Delaware. And then the lawyers that were asking for billions of dollars in stock compensation, you're not going to get that much. They're getting some. Don't get me wrong here. And it's still unfortunate they're getting paid some money. But the Supreme Court said that this wasn't actually correct. Let me give you a summary of the actual document. There's a giant document in here that was posted by Sawyer Merritt from the actual ruling, but I'm going to give you a summary here. While the court acknowledged potential issues with how the pay plan was originally approved, it ultimately ruled that canceling the deal years after Musk had already performed the work was inequitable and legally improper. So here's the background. The 2018 pay plan, Tesla stockholders approved a massive equity plan for Musk consisting of 12 tranches of stock options to receive the pay. Musk had to hit aggressive milestones, including growing Tesla's market value to $650 billion. Stockholders sued, claiming Musk used his influence to force the board into granting him excessive pay. In the lower court ruling, the Court of Chancery originally agreed with the stockholder, finding the process quote-unquote unfair and ordering rescission, which means the total cancellation of the plan. Now, the reason why the Supreme Court reversed the decision, it was focused on the remedy rather than the debate over Musk's control. So you can't unscramble the eggs. The rescission is supposed to return everyone to their original position. The court ruled this was impossible because Musk had already spent 6 years of effort and met all the milestones required by the contract, which shareholders voted on twice. Existing wealth isn't quote-unquote pay. The lower court argued Musk didn't need the 2018 pay package because his existing Tesla stock made him billions. The Supreme Court disagreed, stating his personal stock gains were not a substitute for the specific quote-unquote bargain for compensation promise in the 2018 deal. And then the burden of proof. The lower court blamed Tesla for not suggesting a quote-unquote fairer middle ground pay amount. The Supreme Court ruled it was actually the plaintiff's job to prove what a fair alternative would be, not the companies. And so the final outcome here is that the pay plan is reinstated. Elon Musk keeps the 2018 stock option grant. There's going to be nominal damages because the plaintiff proved a technical breach of duty, but no quote-unquote fair alternative remedy was established. The court awarded the plaintiff just $1. This is basically like, if I unscramble the legalese, it's basically saying Tesla didn't go by the book to make sure that Elon got approval of his compensation package, the actual compensation package. Administratively, there were a couple gaps, but he still put it forth. Everyone thought it was crazy. Stockholders voted on it overwhelmingly twice, and he achieved the milestones, and Tesla stock exploded, and he would have deserved to get paid because the Tesla shareholders actually approved the comp package, if that makes any sense. For attorney's fees, the plaintiff lawyers who originally sought billions in Tesla stock as fees were instead awarded a cash payment based on their actual hours worked using the lodestar method. And so I asked, how much did the lawyers get paid? It's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $54 million instead of the literal billions of dollars they were asking for, and that's going to go through a process. So this is actually a very big deal for multiple reasons. Number one, this removes a giant overhang on the Tesla story that has been there for multiple years, where a rogue judge in Delaware basically decided to be democracy. Like, she decided to be the rule setter for the state and started making insane decisions like this one. This started causing a giant flight away from Delaware from businesses, Tesla and a bunch of other ones. I believe Coinbase moved recently, and a bunch of other companies started leaving the state because you can't have a rogue judge just making up things as she goes, right? And so what that's going to do is, number one, it's going to probably restore some level of balance again in Delaware, some level of removal of these crazy judges, hopefully, and these crazy decisions, which is going to encourage businesses to stay or come back to that state. Delaware has been known to be one of the most, if not the most consistent place to do business in because the laws were very predictable. And they did favor businesses in a lot of different cases. But from a business perspective, it was predictable and you knew what you were going to get. When that original Judge McCormick ruled on Elon Musk's original comp package, this was an unprecedented breach from my perspective of democracy, of law. It just made absolutely no sense. And so it's very good to see this actually happen in Delaware. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I get this in front of you so y'all are caught up on the news. This is gigantic news right before the weekend too. So if you're a Tesla investor, you're probably beside yourself. And so yeah, I hope this was informative and helpful. Thank you very much. Bye.